David? Yes, David is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh. So it is time to start. Shri Guru Namah Hare Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhavatu Saviram Parvavahu Tejasvinavati Tamasthimāru Vishāvahu Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Asatoma Sadhana Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritamaya Aviraviri Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Vicharan Siddham Avicharan Govindam Paramanandam Sarvamidam Krishnam. Let me be protected, let me be nourished. Let me strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightened, not be life's necessity, and beings. It has to truth and not conflict. It has to enlightenment and not ignorance. It has immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me and peace, peace, peace. I vow to Govinda, whose nature is supreme, who is the Sadguru, who can be known only from the import of all Vedanta, and who is beyond the reach of speech in mind. We are studying Vivekachudamani. Vivek, as you know, is separate, is segregate. What is separate? Truth is to be separated from what is not true.
Swami,
The same thing.
we can barely understand you.
Oh,
The sound, the microphone or the sound coming through the internet is very muffled. I don't think that microphone is functional.
can you try it? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's very muffled.
Okay. The software. That's all we can do. Continue with the patient currently. Okay. Okay. What do you want to do? Computer taken in the computer.
Is that you, Cheyenne? I could hear you very well.
You can hear me very well?
Yes.
Closer to computer. Okay, just a second. Maybe just a second. Sorry for that. Now is it fine?
And yours will be okay. What about mine?
Now I can hear you quite well, Swami.
Can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay. Okay, then we'll start with this. Why we have to repeat the same thing over and over again? It is because it mixes up. Even alert mind. People are very alert, but they also mix up. Until or unless one realized the soul, realized the self, this mingling happens. It's like mingling milk with water. It is not perceptible even. That is why we need to be very, very alert. And that is why we need to cultivate this. It is not that once we heard, it is enough. No. It is to be cultivated over and over and over again. So we are studying Vivekachudamani, the crust jewel of discrimination. And without discrimination, we pile up unwanted things. If you go to shopping, if you buy anything and everything that you put your hands on, then you end up spending lots of money, time, and then it piles up in your house. And after a certain time, it will expire. Therefore, when you go for shopping, you're always very careful. What is healthy, what is without gluten, free of gluten, all kinds of healthy things. And that remains for longer time. So this we cannot part with. Vivek is very important in spiritual life. All the time we have to discriminate. We have to separate. And we have to accept what is right, what is correct, what is everlasting, what is eternal and not temporary. So this is very important. We'll see it today also. So before we go, we'll read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Yes.
I'm reading from God in Everything. The kingdom of heaven is within you, says Jesus. So says the Vedanta and every great teacher. He that hath eyes to see, let him see, and he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. The Vedanta proves that the truth for which we have been searching all this time is present and was all the time with us. In our ignorance, we thought we had lost it and went about the world crying and weeping, struggling to find the truth, while all along it was dwelling in our own hearts. There alone we could find it.
So just a minute. See here what is being said. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And he that hath eyes to see, let him see. And he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. See, we are already Brahman. We are already ourselves. But why then we suffer so much? That means we hear it, but we don't realize. We hear it over and over again, but we again falter. So that is why we need to develop our eyes to see properly. What is developing our eyes? There comes the Viveka. Viveka Buddhya, discriminating power. See, everything is mixed up. As Sri Ramakrishna gave example, sugar and salt is mixed up. We cannot segregate. So what we do? We put water, dissolved the sugar, and then we use it. But an ant understands and it can separate. We cannot separate milk and water, but a Paramahamsa can separate. So they have developed their eyes. Okay, those who have studied science, even if you show anything, any metal or anything, so he knows it is all made up of electron, proton, neutron, and ultimately it is energy. You tell an ignorant person, he may not see it. Because one has undergone a training, he has developed that eye, and he can see with bare eyes. An architect comes, he finds, oh, there is a defect in this building, but you could not see it. Why? Because you are not trained. Here you have not developed that eye, whereas that architect has developed eyes. So those who have developed their eyes, let them see. He that hath eyes to see, let him see. And he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. So these eyes are to be developed and ears to be developed. That means to find the truth. That is why discrimination is important. That is why one should cultivate this constantly. Yes.
If we understand the giving up of the world in its old crude sense, then it would come to this, that we must not work, that we must be idle, sitting like lumps of earth, neither thinking nor doing anything, but must become fatalists, driven about by every circumstance, ordered about by the laws of nature, drifting from place to place. That would be the result. But that is not what is meant. We must work. Ordinary mankind, driven everywhere by false desire, what do they know of work? The man propelled by his own feelings and his own senses, what does he know about work? He works who is not propelled by his own desires, by any selfishness whatsoever. He works who has no ulterior motive in view. He works who has nothing to gain from work.
So this is also a very important point to understand. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Karmani eva adhikara. You have right to work, but you have no right. Ma phaleshu kadachana. You have no right in the fruits thereof. No right. It may come, it may go, but you have no right. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phal hetur bhu. Therefore, not to be product or creature of your own created circumstances. Then what? The fourth one. If it is so difficult, why should I work? If you don't work, then you are working that work which is known as non-functioning. Ma karma phal heturbhu mate sangastu akarmani. You must not attach to non-functioning. Say, suppose I have to do something, I don't do. What happens? All the time it is working in me. Oh, I had to do that. I have not done. I have to do that, but I have not done. So this is called attachment to non-functioning. So this is more dangerous. That's why Swamiji says that living work is not like becoming a lump of clay. No. Living work means I have duty, let me do it. Let me function. But I'm not after the result thereof. Result will follow, don't worry about it. But if you are seeking result, you cannot get it. See, a person who is running a marathon, if you always think, oh, I'm going to win, he may not win because his attention is somewhere else. So therefore, he must have attention to the goal, not anything else. Like Arjuna. Arjuna could see only eye of the bird and nothing else. So that one pointedness should be there. So living work does not mean that one should become a lump of clay. Living work means he's like natural, like air like flowing, like light is shining without any ulterior motive, a natural way. A flower gives fragrance. without any ulterior motive. So that way one has to perform all the actions. So this is to be cultivated. This is to be known first. Yes.
Who enjoys the picture? The seller or the seer? The seller is busy with his accounts, computing what his gain will be, how much profit he will realize on the picture. His brain is full of that. He is looking at the hammer and watching the bids. He is intent on hearing how fast the bids are rising. That man is enjoying the picture who has gone there without any intention of buying or selling. He looks at the picture and enjoys it. So this whole universe is a picture. And when these desires have vanished, men will enjoy the world. And then this buying and selling and these foolish ideas of possession will be ended. The moneylender gone, the buyer gone, the seller gone, this world remains the picture, a beautiful painting. I have never read any more beautiful conception of God than the following. He is the great poet, the ancient poet. The whole universe is his poem, coming in verses and rhymes and rhythms, written in infinite bliss.
Yeah.
When we,
Tumi Adi Kavi Tumi hai. Yes.
when we have given up desires, then alone shall we be able to read and enjoy this universe of God. Then everything will become deified. Nooks and corners, byways and shady places, which we thought dark and unholy, will be deified. They will all reveal their true nature, and we shall smile at ourselves and think that all this weeping and crying has been but child's play, and we were only standing by watching.
Correct. So the example will come. So morning, what happens? As the sun rises, actually sun does not rise, it is, we say. As the sun rises, darkness vanishes in the light. Before that, darkness frightens us. But as the sun is up, then all the darkness go away. Whatever. There's no trace. So this happens. This is very, very tricky to understand. Examples can be understood. Like here also Swamiji gave example. Buyer and seller are busy with their accounting. Only the onlooker enjoys. So therefore, one should be like onlooker. And one should not be entangled. If you are for profit or buying and selling, you are entangled. Entangled can never enjoy. Only those who have released themselves from entanglement and they are free from such ills, they only can enjoy. Onlookers can enjoy. Yes.
So do your work, says the Vedanta. It first advises us how to work, by giving up the apparent elusive world. What is meant by that? Seeing God everywhere. Thus do you work. Desire to live 100 years. Have all earthly desires if you wish, only deify them. Convert them into heaven. Have the desire to live a long life of helpfulness, of blissfulness and activity on this earth. Thus working, you will find the way out. There is no other way. If a man plunges headlong into foolish luxuries of the world without knowing the truth, he has missed his footing. He cannot reach the goal. And if a man curses the world, goes into a forest, mortifies his flesh, and kills himself little by starvation, makes his heart a barren waste, kills out all feelings, and becomes harsh, stern, and dried up, that man also has missed the way. These are the two extremes, the two mistakes at either end. Both have lost their way. Both have missed the goal.
Yeah. So example is given, Isha Vasimidagam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyangam. So we are to see God in everything. Deifying is not a joke. It is to be done until or unless you enjoy the bliss by seeing God in everything. It's a sham. The day when you claim that I have deified, that means you should be full of bliss. But that does not happen. That means we have not done. If we say, yes, we have deified, but same jealousy, hatred, all kinds of ills are there, that means it is all show, all in words, prati words. So that is not right. Therefore, deification means we should experience this. Pratibodha viditam. In every moment, whatever experience that we gain every moment, that should give joy. Like Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna gave another example. A monk used to come out from his hut and would see, oh, what a joy. Wah, 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 wah. Ki anando, what a joy. That is his experience. We must experience that. The taste of pie lies in eating and tasting. If it tastes sweet, then only it is. Until or unless that experience comes, that is not deification. So it should not be in words only, rather really deification. Yes.
So work, says the Vedanta, putting God in everything and knowing him to be in everything. Work incessantly, holding life as something deified, as God himself, and knowing that this is all we have to do. This is all we should ask for. God is in everything. Where else shall we go to find him? He is already in every word, in every thought, in every feeling. Thus knowing, we must work, and this is the only way. There is no other. Thus the effects of work will not bind us. We have seen how false desires are the cause of all the misery and evil we suffer. But when they are thus deified, purified, God, they bring no evil, they bring no misery.
Yeah, this is one thing. Deify, purify. We are to purify ourselves. Without purification, that feeling will not come. Purification means what? The ills. What are the ills? Ego. First is ego. That ego is to be subdued, submitting to God. Total sharanagati. And second, all the desires to be abandoned. Ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, sanghata, chetana, dhriti, all these desires, hatred, say enjoyment and suffering, all are to be abandoned. Sanghat, and then holding that. So somebody said something 10 years back, we hold it. So all these are to be abandoned. And then only we enjoy like fragrance from a flower. So yes, go ahead.
Those who have not learned this secret will have to live in a demoniacal world until they discover it.
Maniacal. Maniac.
Demoniacal. Many do not know what an infinite mine of bliss is in them, around them, everywhere. They have not yet discovered it. What is a demoniacal world? The Vedanta says ignorance. We are dying of thirst, sitting on the banks of the mightiest river. We are dying of hunger, sitting near heaps of food. Here is the blissful universe, yet we do not find it.
Yes, you finished that one. Oh, you have done. So actually it is there within us, but we are searching in the world, everywhere in the world. We have to discover this. And discover, how can we discover? We have to purify ourselves. Purification. Purification means finding the truth and discarding what is not truth. Asato ma satgamay. Tamaso ma jyotirgamay. So we pray that also. So we have to find that truth. That is why Vivekachudamani. That is why it is so important to study and cultivate this. So before we go, this is also very important. We'll read from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today we have read this. Very important. Jnana is the realization of self through the process of neti. So one follows the process, not this, viveka, not this, not this. That means I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. What is that? We have to find that. So not this, not this. One goes into samadhi through this process of elimination and realizes the Atman. It's not like us. One should really think that, really discard that I am not the body. We say, and then we think that we are the bodies. So that is not. One will go to samadhi when really one discards this idea of body-mind. Is it totally impossible? No, we do every day. When we go to sleep, if you think that I'm body, I'm mind, I have so many properties, you cannot sleep. Therefore, it happens every day. But still we are not mindful. As soon we are awake, same body-mind idea comes back to us. So it is not totally impossible. It is possible. Only thing, we are not alert about it. So one goes into samadhi through this process of elimination and realizes the Atman. But vijnana means knowledge with a greater fullness. Some have heard of milk, some have seen milk, and some have drunk milk. He who has merely heard of milk, it is ignorant. He who has seen it is a jnani, but he who has drunk it has vijnana. That means what? One experiences it. One experiences the strength, the joy of drinking and digesting and assimilating, and then feeling the strength. If that feeling has not come, then it is not done. So he who has seen it is jnani, but he who has drunk it has vijnana. That is to say, a fuller knowledge of it. After having the vision of God, one talks to him as if he were an intimate relative. That is vijnana. So we talk with ourselves all the time. But this is a different kind of talking. It is not mental modification. It is being and becoming. So, Atmarati, Atma Krida, one is enjoying one's own play. So this is a different kind of chattering, not like we mentally we keep on chattering, not like that. Atmarati, Atma Krida. So like this. First of all, you must discriminate. It is not that when you deify, this world remains as it is. No. An ignorant person is educated, he is master of that subject. His eyes totally changed. He's no more like that ignorant person. His hands have got skills. You see how much this technology nowadays, even that which is, see, you are seeing me, how it is all happening. So it has happened because of a great tapasya. Only after that, this is possible, that I am talking from here and somebody's in India, somebody's in Melbourne is listening. So it is possible, but is it after getting the training, then even the material also talks. Even material is conscious. It is not that this world, we uplift this world. No, we transform this world. That means if this world is transformed, then it is all consciousness. It is no more jada. So first of all, you must discriminate, following the method of neti neti. He is not the five elements, nor the sense organs, nor the mind, nor the intelligence, nor the ego. So this we have to contemplate. That's why it is very difficult. So that's why our teachers have advised, take a mantra, meditate on it, recite that mantra, get absorbed in it, then all other will fall off. So this is simpler way. The path of knowledge is a bit difficult because you have to discriminate and you have to be strong to hold that. Whereas reciting mantra is easier. And one day one gets absorbed in it naturally. So first of all, you must discriminate following the method of neti neti. He is not the five elements, nor the sense organs, nor the mind, nor the intelligence, nor the ego. He is beyond all these cosmic principles. You want to climb to the roof, then you must eliminate and leave behind all the steps one by one. The steps are by no means the roof. But after reaching the roof, you find that the steps are made of the same materials, brick, lime, and brick dust. Example is good. This is to educate ordinary people. But when one is cultivating consciousness, first he finds his consciousness, then he finds everywhere the same consciousness. As Sri Ramakrishna gives example, that I saw mother, then mother is everywhere. Mother is in the door sill, mother is in the roof, mother is everywhere. And even cat came, and Sri Ramakrishna said, it is mother. Mother means consciousness. So he offered the same bhoga to her, that cat. So it is not, people will see that he is feeding a cat, but Sri Ramakrishna realized that it's not cat, it is mother herself, consciousness herself. So this is the difference. It's not like in words. The steps are by no means the roof, but after reaching the roof, you find that the steps are made of the same materials, brick, lime, and brick dust, as the roof. It is the Supreme Brahman that has become the universe and its living beings and the 24 cosmic principles. That which is Atman has become the five elements. You may ask, okay, so this is up to this. So we'll go to our text. So 558, just we'll read these three, the meaning, and then we go forward. So what is moksha? Moksha is like, don't wait. So for the giving up of the body is not liberation. So what is liberation? Moksha is not like leaving the body. We think that he has attained moksha. No, he'll find another body. Nor that of the stuff. Stuff means like a sannyasin discards all previous samskaras, but he holds a staff, and then ultimately that is also staff means a stick. That is a vow. Staff means the insignia of a monk. Mere outward giving up is nothing. They must have no place in the mind. So that is also not immense liberation. And the water bowl. But liberation consists in the destruction of the heart's knot, which is nescience. So avidyanar. Avidyanar means the destruction of ignorance. What is ignorance? Not knowing things correctly. We know something, that we are divine, but then we suffer. Why we suffer? Because we don't know exactly. We know something, but we don't know something. So this is called agyan, nescience. If a leaf falls in a small stream or a river or a place consecrated to Shiva or in a crossing of roads, of what good or evil effects is that to the tree? So when one realizes the Supreme Being, one is not worried about this body mind because he knows that it is detached, like a leaf is detached from a tree. And tree does not bother whether it is falling on a gutter or falling on the Shiva's head. Tree is not bothered. Similarly, because what is the point? Point is he's totally detached. Asanga shastrena dridhana chitva. So detachment. So patrasya pushpasya phalasya nashavat dehendriya pranadhyam vinasha. Naivatmanah swasya sadatmakasya anandakriter vikshar vadasti chaisha. The destruction of body, organs, pranas, and buddhi is like that of a leaf or flower or fruit of the tree, of a tree. It does not affect the Atman. So body, even body falls, even we are unconscious of our body when we are sleeping. But it comes, suffering comes back. That means it is not liberation. Similarly, the destruction of body, organs, pranas, and buddhi is like that of a leaf or flower or fruit. It does not affect the self, Atman, the reality, the embodiment of bliss, which is one's true nature, that survives like the tree. So this, up to this we have completed. Now comes what today's what we are studying. Yeah, 561. Prajnana ghana iti atma lakshanam pratyasuchakam satyasuchakam anuddyopadhikastasyaiva kathayanti vinashanam. The Shrutis, by setting forth the real nature of the Atman, is the words, the embodiment of knowledge. The knowledge embodied. Sri Ramakrishna, jnana, bhakti. If you concentrate knowledge and devotion and concentration of that, so that is the form of Sri Ramakrishna. So the embodiment of knowledge, which indicate its reality, speak of the destruction of the apparent limitations merely. So Pragyana Ghanam. So in Shruti, that in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said, I am Atma Anantaha Abhayya Krishna Pragyana Ghana Eva. So it is I am Atma Ananta. Ananta means it has no end. Avahya, there is no out. That means no in also. These are relative terms. Krishna, that means complete, full, total. Pragyana Ghana, it is full of knowledge. Like a master degree in science, say ignorant boy, a child, and a master. So it apparently it may look similar. The master of that knowledge has not grown two horns and long tail. What has happened? The change in thought, change in perception, that happened. That is the difference. And by that knowledge, he can change things. Like today, we see so many changes in technology. It is possible because they thought about it, they meditated on it, and they found ways to uplift human life condition. So this Atman, I am Atma Ananta, and it is not, it has no inside and outside, it's all full, complete. And it is completely pragyana, like vijnana, jnana, knowledge, pragyana, prakrishta rupena jnana. Like as Sri Ramakrishna said, seeing milk is knowledge, but drinking, digesting, assimilating, and absorbing and getting strength is vijnana or pragyana. Here prakrishta jnana. So here knowledge itself. So I am on Krishna pragyana ghana eva etebhya bhutebhya samuthaya tanyavanu vinashyanti. So what happens? So when the knowledge dawns on, ignorance is dispelled. Dispel means not that driven away. It is absorbed. Ignorance or darkness has no existence of its own. Darkness has no existence of its own. What we say darkness? We say absence of light. Absence of light. But actually there is also little light. You cannot see light, you cannot see darkness without light. Even to see a darkness or shadow, you need light. So light is most important. Light alone exists. There is no darkness. So what happens? As of now, we feel that we are jivas. But as we realize our jiva-hood goes away, then we are no more jiva. Then we see it is me, the self alone. Swe mahimne pratisthita. I am existing in my own glory. I am not bound or arrested by anything like body, mind, etc. No, it's all gone. And this ego goes away. Bhaya matra ami that first it flows like aham, I am. That also goes away. Then what happens? Boje pran, boje jar. Only those who understand. As Christ said, those who have eyes, they only can see. Those who have ears, they only can hear. It cannot be conveyed. So there is this individuality dies. Swamiji said here, I'm afraid here. When I say individuality goes away or dies, people are afraid. No, your limitedness goes away, but you become the whole. So individuality goes, it dissolves in universality. That is the point. So pragyana ghana ityadi ityatma lakshanam pratyasuchakam anudyopadikasaiva kathayanti vinashanam. The Shruti, by setting forth the real nature of the Atman in the words, the embodiment of knowledge, pragyana ghana, which indicate its reality. So it is beyond upadhi, we are beyond adjuncts. Speak of the destruction of the apparent limitations. So we have limitation of body, we have limitation of mind, we feel it. That limitation will go away. That is the state of perfection. The limitation that I am body mind will go away. So upadhika, anudya upadhika. That means what is said, the upadhi. Upadhi means adjuncts. So that will go away. That is to be, that is being expressed. So when a person attains that supreme knowledge means then there is no adjuncts remaining. No limitations are remaining. Everything is full of light, consciousness, full of consciousness. Says Ramakrishna worshipped Mother Kali. And he prayed. He did lots of tapasya, but she was not giving her darshan. Since one day he was so restless, so not restless, he was so eager that he said, without darshan I cannot live. Therefore I'll cut myself into two. And he took a sword and he wanted to kill himself. And that time Mother showed her means what? He realized the self and it is full of bliss, full of consciousness. He realized that. And after that, it is no more limited by body mind adjuncts. So that happens that. So we go to the next. Avinashi va. Are ayam atma iti shruti va. Shruti atmanah. Prabhritya vinashitvam vinashatsu vikarishu. So in Shruti, in Vrihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said that Maitreyi told that I cannot understand what you are saying. It's difficult for me. So are you confusing me? Well, then Yajnavalkya told, no, I'm not confusing you. Nava are aham moham bravimi. Avinashi va are ayam atma anuchitti dharma. I am not telling you something confusing. But what I am saying that this self is without any deviation, without any vikar, without any deviation. And it is not that it can be, it can confuse you. That means it is full of knowledge. How can it confuse you? Nava are aham moham bravimi. Avinashi va are ayam atma anuchitti dharma. That means it removes all the all the adjuncts, but it cannot be removed. Anuchit dharma. Anuchit dharma means it cannot be removed. It remains all the time. Maitri told, Napritya Sangyanti. So I cannot understand. Are you confusing? So I'm not confusing. But what I'm talking about is cannot be driven away, cannot be diminished. So Avinashi va are ayam atma shrutihi atmanaha pravriti pravrityavinashitvam vinashatsu vikarishu. So the Shruti passage, verily is this Atman immortal, my dear, mentions the immortality of the Atman in the midst of things perishable and subject to modification. So as of now, we see something is modifiable, but this self cannot be modified. Something is perishable, but this self cannot be perished. Something is temporary, but this is not temporary. We have to find this self. So pravrityavinashi, this is avinashi. Vinashatsu vikarishu. Though something, like we can see something is being destroyed, but this cannot be destroyed. See, like example will be given, like a ghatakash, space in a ghata. When ghata means pitcher, when pitcher is destroyed, the space is not destroyed. It is united with the Mahakasha. Mahakasha means that space everywhere. So Ghatakasha, Mathakasha, like space within, when this house will be destroyed, then this space will be united with the higher space. It is not destructible. So that's why it is avinashi. It cannot be destroyed. The Shruti passage, verily is the Atman immortal, my dear, mentions that immortality of the Atman in the midst of things perishable and subject to modification. So this is available. This body is perishable, mind is diminishable, but the self is never perishable or diminishable. Okay, we'll take another one. It's time though, about time. Pashan vriksha trina dhanya barankaradya dagdha bhavanti hi mrideva yatha tathaiva dehendriya sumana adi samasta drishyam jnanagni dagdham upayati paratma bhavam. Just as the stone, a tree, grass, paddy, husk, etc., when burnt are reduced to earth, that means ashes only. Even so, the whole objective universe, comprising the body, organs, pranas, manas, and so forth, are, when burnt by the fire of realization, reduced to the Supreme Self. So this is to be understood. All the examples are given. What are those? Pashana, stone. When it is destroyed, it becomes earth. Even if you say like, if you rub it, gradually that becomes earth. Vriksha, trina, vriksha means tree, trina, the grass, paddy, etc. All these, when it is burnt, it becomes earth. Similarly, all these becomes united with the self. And These are examples. United means what? Does it exist? No. As of now, it is also a nescience, ignorance, that we think that we have a body. But what is mine? Everything is poured here. Nothing belongs to me. Even thoughts, mind, that also is in this nature. It's not of my nature. So this way one has to find the self, and then in that floodlight, everything is flooded. Everything is flooded. Example is given. Vilakshanam yatha dhvantam liyate bhanu tejasi tathaiva sakalam drishyam brahmani praviliyate. As darkness, which is distinct from sunshines, vanishes in the sun's radiance, so the whole objective universe dissolves in Brahman. Devotees would like to keep it. They want to have a little of ego of a devotee. I am God's devotee. But that also goes away. See, Hanumanji said, Deho buddhya tu dasoham. When I have body consciousness, I am your servant. So subdued. So ego is there. Deho buddhya dasoham. Jiva buddhya tadamshakaha. When I have the understanding that I am a jiva, I am your part. But atma buddhya tamevaham. When I have knowledge of self, I am you. There is no distinction, no separation. So this ignorance is diminished or absorbed in light consciousness. Vilakshanam yatha dhvantam liyate bhanu tejasi tathaiva sakalam drishyam brahmani praviliyate. As darkness, which is distinct from sunshine, vanishes in the sun's radiance, so the whole objective universe dissolves in Brahman. Now Sri Ramakrishna said, after that what happens? Vijnana. Then if you want to come back to enjoy, but you are enjoying the self with the self. Atma Rati, Atma Krida. It's not this world that we see, that we recognize. This world no more. For him, it's all, Sri Ramakrishna says, it is like pillowcases. The same consciousness is floating around and separated by pillowcases. Means what? Same consciousness, only a little distinction. So his eyes are totally changed. The person who has realized his eyes are totally changed, he will not see this world anymore. Even this happened in Vivekachudamani, when Shishya realized, then he said, oh, adunaiva maya drishtam, where this world has gone. I saw it just now, before this. Where this has vanished. So then nobody is Shayan or Barbara. It's all the same. But Vijnana, we want to keep a little ego. As Sri Ramakrishna gave example, like water, expansion of water. And a Vijnani puts a line by his finger. This is me and that is you. But actually there is no division. It's only for enjoyment. That also, it's difficult to even to think and to convey how that happens until or unless one realizes it. Another example we'll give and then we'll stop. Ghate nashte yatha vyoma vomaiva bhavati sputam tathaiva upadhi vilaye brahmaiva brahmavit swayam. So what is the meaning? As when a jar is broken, the space enclosed by it becomes palpably the limitless space. So, when the apparent limitations are destroyed, the Nora Brahman verily becomes Brahman itself. Another example is given. Kshiram kshire yatha kshittam, tailam taile jalam jale, sanyuktam ekatam yati tathatmanyatma with munihi. As milk poured into milk, oil into oil, the water into water becomes united and one with it. So the sage who has realized the Atman becomes one in the Atman. So it is difficult. Difficult means these are examples to understand. Unless we purify ourselves, it is beyond our understanding. When we purify, then only we have developed eyes, then we can see. If we purify, then only we have developed our eyes, ears, then we can hear. So let us pray to the divine so that we can develop that eye to see reality and the ears to hear the reality. Any question? Yes. God say like different. God in everything. God is, God alone is. Now, because we see I am separate, God is separate. So first, this is the first step. That we have to see God in everything. Then God is everything. Then God alone is. These are the steps. We are sadhakas. See, as of now, we don't see God. Where is God? We don't see. So first step, okay, scripture says God is, God is in this world. God created. Ekoham bahusyama prajaye tat srishtva tadevanu pravishat. So he created and he entered into it. He is there very much. So Shastra says this. So we believe, okay, fine. Shastra says and Guru also says that God has become everything. He created, he became this. And in Bhagavad Gita also we are studying that. When Arjuna asked, where can I meditate? Keshu keshu sa bhaveshu. Oh, where should I meditate? Then he says, okay, Krishnanam Vasudevasmi, Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So, okay, this is my special manifestation. So this way we develop that eyes to see what the reality is. God alone exists, nothing else. But since we don't know that, we are to go step by step. So first, God, I am there. Yes, I am there. And God is also there. Fine. Then God is in everything. Then God is everything. Then God is. There is nothing else. So these are the steps. And when we reach, after that, when you see this world is transformed. No more this world. No more Barbara. Then it is manifested God. God alone is there. See, like in the ocean, there may be some small bubbles. It's God, is the ocean. Unless we reach there, we cannot understand this. See, when you are dreaming, you cannot understand what is the waking state. So in dream, a guru comes, tells, okay, this is like this. So we take that one. But when we wake up, it's totally different experience. It cannot be compared with what we learned in our dream state. Okay, so these are steps. Since we know this world exists, and we know, yes, I am also existing. So, okay, so God has created all this. Fine, very good. Where is the God? Where can I find him? Okay, God is in everything. In you also. Oh, is it? So God is in everything. And God is everything. Then God is and nothing else. There is nothing. See, darkness. Does darkness exist? Darkness does not exist at all. Falsity. Does falsity exist? No, it cannot exist. It has no existence of its own. So this world, where this world exists? World also does not exist as we understand. Where is your dream? You saw last night. Where is your dream? Can you show me your dream? Did you experience your dream last night? Say yes. Yes. Can you show me your dream? Why? It has no existence of its own. And it is a foolish understanding that we say, no, dream is there. That means he's not awake even. Or he's not understand, he has not understood properly. Right? Is that he's not there today? Okay. Yes. God alone is. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Okay, thank you very much.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar.
Jai Maa.
Jai Ma, Jai Ma.
Jai Maa.
Namaste. Janma, you did not ask any question.
I did, Maharaj. This is a very complex thing, and I need to think about it deeply to ask a good question.
Okay. Jai Ma.